Hey, yo, what's the deal? It's your boy who's Syndrome, man. And we back. Um, Tried to find some Wilt Chamberlain highlights. I really couldn't find none without any like music and everything. So I'm gonna check out my boy Nonstop Sports. 10 crazy stat lines of Wilt Chamberlain's career. So let's check it out, man. Wilt the still
Never going to be repeated again. Here are the craziest stat lines of Chamberlain's career. Unofficial quintuple double, 53 points, 32 rebounds, 14 assists, 24 blocks, and 11 steals. This has never been official.
What?
Here are the craziest stat lines of Chamberlain's career. Unofficial quintuple double, 53 points, 32 rebounds, 14 assists.
Wait, hold on. 53 points, 32 rebounds, 14 assists, 24 blocks, and 11 steals in one game. That mean, bro, I really think Wilt was getting 5 to 10 rebounds on one possession. 24 blocks, so he was just up there. Nope. Nope. Like,
24 blocks and 11 steals. This has never been officially confirmed, but the statistically most dominant player ever had a quintuple-double, a feat that has never been achieved before or since. This happened in a game between his Sixers and the Lakers in 1969, but the NBA didn't count blocks and steals back then, so we can't know for sure. We do know that he had a preposterous triple-double on that day, with 53 points, 32 rebounds, and 14 assists. This would turn heads if it was anybody else, but with Wilt, those kind of numbers were almost expected. But what the NBA didn't write down were his 24 blocks and 11 steals in that game, which would count for one of the craziest stat lines ever, even for Chamberlain. Most points in a game, 100 points, 25 rebounds, 2 assists.
that's crazy to have 100 points and 25 rebounds in the same game, bro. That's really crazy. I really I hope somebody could find video footage or come up with video footage of that game, because I really want to react to that.
It should have just been another game between the Warriors and the Knicks, and Wilt didn't really prepare for it, not unless you count clubbing and spending the night with a woman as preparation. Wilt was almost late for the train to Hershey in Pennsylvania,
We'll have them hoes, though.
where the game was held in front of 4,000 people. But it didn't take too long for Wilt to get going. Chamberlain scored 41 in the first half, but he wasn't too excited about it. It was just business as usual, as he would often score over 30 and a half. However, his domination continued in the second half as well, and his teammates began feeding him the ball on every possession, realizing that something special was cooking. The next players...
That's why he was able to get 100. They were just giving that nigga the ball because he was just unfucking stoppable.
realized this too and began fouling all the Warriors players so that Wilt doesn't get the ball. In the end, the game turned into a farce, but nobody will remember that. What people will remember forever is the picture of young Wilt taking a picture with a 100 written on it after the highest scoring output in NBA history. For those 100 points, he made 36 out of 63 shots and 28 out of 32 from the free throw line, which is an impressive feat if we know that his career free throw average barely exceeds 50%. Philadelphia won the game 169 to 147, which was a record for most points scored in a game. Other than that, Wilt set 6 overall records that night. Other than 100 points, he set the new bar for most field goals made and attempted, number of free throws made, number of points scored in a quarter with 31, and points scored in a half with 59. Most rebounds in a game, 34 points, 55.
Think about that. 59 and a half in his 100-point game, and Kobe had 55 and a half in the 81-point game. Just think about that. Like,
Rebounds, 4 assists. Other than mesmerizing scoring games, and points scored in a half with 59. Most
First of all, how do you get 55 rebounds in a fucking game, bro?
rebounds in a game, 34 points, 55 rebounds, 4 assists. Other than mesmerizing scoring games, Wilt also had rebounding numbers that seem unreal today. He led the league in rebounding in 11 out of his 14 seasons, and he often had as many boards as the entire teams in an NBA game today. There are three reasons for that, other than the fact that Wilt was a 7'1" athletic demigod who looked like he time traveled to the 60s from the future. First, he usually played all 48 minutes, while the players today averaged 36 minutes or less. Wilt also played in an era where the pace was much faster, and teams were averaging 110 shot attempts per game, compared to 90 shots per game in 2020. Finally, the average field goal percentage was about 5% worse in the 60s than it is now, which of course meant 5% more rebounds for Wilt to grab. Among the active players, Kevin Love holds the record for most rebounds in a game with 31, which means that Wilt's record of 55 rebounds in a game is basically unbreakable. But Wilt is not to blame for the rules and the
Duh. I mean, if they getting up 110 shots a game and they only getting up 90 now, you think somebody gonna be able to get fucking, especially with the three ball being as prevalent as it is with these long ass rebounds. That's why you see these point guards getting 6, 7 rebounds a game, 8 rebounds a game. People shooting more threes and it's longer rebounds.
He played in. He was undoubtedly the best rebounder of his time, together with his arch rival Bill Russell. In fact, Wilt made the record against the Celtics and Bill Russell, which makes it even more impressive.
So let's open it up right here, and I'm just going to go over to the balance section. And as you guys can see right now, I have $12,000 in my cash.
Chamberlain had 34 points to go along with his double nickel in rebounds. But as it often happened, it wasn't enough to beat the Celtics, who won 132 to 129.
Yeah, Russell used to whoop on his ass, though.
First ever 20-20-20 game. 22 points, 25 rebounds, 21 assists. Everybody always viewed Wilt just as a monstrous scoring machine. But because the Celtics were winning all the titles,
That's amazing.
and because his scoring would often be in vain, Wilt 22 points, 25 rebounds.
22 points, 25 rebounds, and 21 assists. This is why I can't even get mad at people saying that Wilt Chamberlain is the GOAT. Like, he has unbeatable records, bro.
21 assists. Everybody always viewed Wilt just as a monstrous scoring machine. But because the Celtics were winning all the titles, and because his scoring would often be in vain, Wilt was criticized for scoring too much, and the media sometimes portrayed him as selfish. In 1968, Wilt decided that he would prove the naysayers wrong, and that he would be a passer first and a scorer second. He could have kept scoring 50 a game, but the man was so dominant that he got bored, and decided to become the best passer in the league, basically just for the hell of it. What Wilt wanted to do, he usually achieved, and to this date, he's the only center to lead the league in assists, with 8.6 dimes per game in 1968.
Think about that, bro. You're so talented, bro. You're a scoring machine. He decides, nah, bro, I'm going to lead the league in assists. The only center to ever lead the league in assists. I got to put Wilt back on my top 10. I'm tripping. Definitely got to put Wilt back on my top 10. I don't know who the hell I'm taking off, but I'm putting Wilt back on my top 10. This is ridiculous.
That season, he produced some unreal numbers again, and the most impressive was definitely the double-triple-double, or the 20-20-20 game. In a home game against Detroit, Wilt dominated with 22 points, 25 rebounds, and 21 assists in a 131-121 win. It was the only 20-20-20 performance in basketball history until Russell Westbrook did it in 2019. 78 versus Weston Baylor. 78 points, 43 rebounds, 1 assist. One of the most entertaining games in NBA history was played in 1961 between the Warriors and the Lakers. You had Wilt on one side and two other NBA legends in Jerry West and Elgin Baylor on the other. The game went to triple overtime, and Wilt broke the record for most points in a game, which would last only for a couple of months, until he broke it again with 100 points. Wilt scored 78 with 31 of 62 from the floor, 16 of 31 from the free throw line, and he also snatched 43 rebounds. But it still wasn't enough. The Lakers finally prevailed.
So he was 15 from 31 from. Just think about if he would have made, like, you know what I'm saying, 25 or 30 or whatever like that. You'd have like 88, 90 points. Like, this is fucking crazy.
a third overtime with 63 points from Baylor, 32 from West. Wilt wasn't happy after the game, despite breaking the NBA
Yeah, you ain't beating that. You got 63 from one player. What do you say?
scoring record previous, but it still wasn't enough. The Lakers finally prevailed in the third overtime with 63 points from Baylor, 32 from West. Wilt
63 and then 32. Yeah, and you only had 78 yourself. Yeah, you really not finna be beating that.
wasn't happy after the game, despite breaking the NBA scoring record previously held by Baylor. As far as I'm concerned, it was a useless 78 points. We lost the game, Wilt. Most rebounds in a playoff game, 20 points.
You see what I'm saying? Even Wilt, like, nigga, that 70 points don't mean shit. We lost. All the greats cared about winning. Regardless of the fact, I understand the stats and the analytics and everything like that, but it didn't mean shit if they was losing, bro.
41 rebounds, 9 assists. Before the 1966-1967 NBA season, the Philadelphia 76ers changed their head coach, and the new coach, Alex Hannum, demanded more from Chamberlain. He wanted him to focus more on defense and rebounding, as the team finally had enough scorers around Wilt. As a result of the change, Chamberlain scored only 24.1 points, but with 24.1 rebounds, he led the league, and he also averaged 7.8 assists per game. The 76ers finished the season with...
That's crazy for a center. 6.8 assists a game, and then the one, he was 8.6 assists a game and led the league. Bro, yeah, I'm tripping. Wilt Chamberlain definitely back in my top 10. Hakeem, I'm sorry. You gotta go back to 11.
68 wins, the best record in the NBA, and Chamberlain was named the MVP. In the playoffs, Wilt finally got past Bill Russell and the Celtics for the first and only time in his career. In the third game of the series, Chamberlain collected a playoff record of 41 rebounds, ensuring his team the victory and a 3-0 series lead. In 5 games, Wilt averaged 21 points, 32 rebounds, and 10 assists, and he deservedly celebrated over...
But see, that's why I can't put him over big men like, you know what I'm saying, Shaq, Kareem, and motherfuckers like that, because he didn't dominate in the finals like he dominated in the regular season. Like Shaq in the finals was an absolute fucking beast. So
Russell, who had 11, 23, and 6 for the series. Wilt and the Sixers would win their first NBA title in the finals against the Warriors, his former franchise. Most consecutive shots made, 18 for 18, 42 points, 30 rebounds, 10 assists. Wilt led the NBA in field goal percentage in 9 of his 14 seasons, and he was exceptionally efficient in 1967, the best year of his career.
I mean, it's not that hard to be efficient when you the tallest nigga and really and you fast too, and his arms is extra long. I mean, come on now.
Game stretch in February of 1967, Wilt Chamberlain could not miss, making 35 consecutive shots in that span, an NBA record. The efficiency extravaganza was highlighted with an 18 out of 18 performance against the Baltimore Bullets, to go along with around 30 rebounds and 10 assists. Granted, the majority of his shots were dunks and short hooks near the rim, but still, not Shaq, Kareem, or any other center managed to come close to 100% shooting on that number of shots. Thomas Bryant and Gary Payton are next on that list, with 14 made field goals without a miss. Most points scored by a rookie, 58 points, 42 rebounds, 4 assists. It's not...
So basically, the NBA record book is just, you know what I'm saying, the book of Wilt Chamberlain. That's basically what it is, bro.
surprising that Wilt holds the record for most points scored by a rookie, but Wilt being Wilt, he had to stand out, as he did it on 2 separate occasions. His first 58 came against the Pistons on January 25th, 1960. Wilt shot an efficient 24 out of 41 from the field, and 10 out of 13 from the line in 47 minutes on the floor. He repeated the same output a month later against the Knicks, this time playing the entire 48 minutes of the game. He shot 26 out of 47 and hit 6 out of 9 free throws in a 129-122 victory. 73 points, 36 rebounds, 0 assists. Before he scored 100 against the Knicks, Wilt was torching the entire league for the whole year, and the 100 was just the icing on the best scoring season in basketball history. On January 13th, 1962, 2 months before the game in Hershey, Chamberlain erupted for 73 points and 36 rebounds in the Warriors' win against Chicago, who were still called the Packers back then. Wilt Chamberlain already had scored 78 points in a game, but that came in a triple overtime, and this was even more impressive because he only needed 48 minutes. These kinds of performances were nothing unusual for Chamberlain, who averaged 50.4 points that year, and just how much of his focus was on scoring.
Nobody is averaging 50 points nobody is averaging 50 points today. I don't care who you is. Nobody is averaging 50 points today. Like, you could tell that Wilt was just so overly dominant that whatever he felt like he wanted to do, he was going to do. If he felt like he wanted to lead the league in rebounding, he was going to do that. Assists, I can do that too. Scoring, I can do that. I believe if he would have won more, he would have definitely probably been the undisputed GOAT. If he would have won like maybe 3 or 4 championships, maybe 3, maybe 4, he would have been the undisputed GOAT. Now, stat-wise, nobody can compare. Now, to Jordan, nobody can compare. His numbers are ridiculous. They look like, 2K numbers.
Is clearly visible with this game against the Packers, where he scored all those points but finished with 0 assists. Now that's a true definition of tunnel vision. 73 points, 14 rebounds, 1 assist. After he finished the season with 50 points on average, Wilt didn't skip a beat next year and continued to torture NBA defenses. On November 16th, 1962, Chamberlain delivered another scorching performance against the Knicks, his dearest customers. Wilt gifted them with 73 points on 29 of 43 from the field and 15 of 19 from the free throw line, along with 14 rebounds, and he even managed to pass once. Chamberlain led the Warriors to a 127-111 win over the Knicks, and for the 1962-1963 season, he averaged 44.8 points and 24.3 rebounds per.
So after you average 50, then you're going to average 44.8 points and 44 and 24. Like, that's fucking ridiculous, bro. That's like you barely could probably do that in a video game, bro. For real.
Game on 53% shooting from the field, playing a ridiculous 47.6 minutes per game, despite his individual dominance.
While he was playing high minutes, like playing damn near every minute of the game.
Warriors went 31-49 that season and missed the playoffs. This tells you that he really needed to score all those points to give his team a fighting chance, and it's easy to see why he was always losing to Bill Russell in his early years. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, man. That was, 10 the craziest stat lines of Wilt Chamberlain, Wilt the Stilt. You know what I'm saying? It's been another one by Who It's In, though. I'm out.